Where are we going, Ben?
Animal Kingdom.
And what are we going to do?
Flight of Passage.
And?
The safari.
That's right. That's why it's kind of like an early morning for us. At least earlier than what we've been all week.
For a couple of old clients.
Yeah. And from where we're staying at the boardwalk, our walk to the bus stop is very short. That's one of the reasons why I request that location. And no bus here yet, but I'm sure they'll be along. Of course, we can always take a scooter ride with that guy. He's got an extra.
With that guy.
Do you suppose he's known as that guy? You are good. All right, all we got to do is wait for the bus now. Hey, look, here comes our bus. How about that?
You want to be on the end, right?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Hi, Matt.
Gates are closing up. Doors on your right side are going to close.
Yep.
Alrighty, doors
Asante Sana, looks like we are all set, guys. So as we say in Harambe, Twin Day,
Bye.
let's go everyone wave goodbye. We'll be back eventually, I promise. Well, Jumbo friends.
Not productive so far.
Now we are coming up on a watering hole out to our left-hand side. We normally have some pretty good luck around watering holes out here in Africa, because there are lots of animals that need to stay hydrated during the day, and so they hang around them so they can easily cool themselves off too. It did seem like the truck in front of us spotted something, so let's see if we can find it too. Yes, right past this fallen over tree. You'll see him, he's laying down in that little alcove of rocks over there. There is a black rhino. We're gonna make a quick pause. You definitely want to get a few snaps of that guy. We are pretty fortunate to get to see one today, because unfortunately there are only 5,000 black rhinos left in the entire world. And that is mostly due to poaching. Now, poachers will go after their horns, which are made out of keratin, the same substance that makes up our fingernails and our hair. Part of the reason why those horns are so sought after and fetch such a high price on the black market is because there are some cultures out there that believe that they hold some sort of medicinal value, but so far, modern medicine has not been able to come up with anything. Now, we were holding for just a second there because we had a couple of antelope crossing the road. These actually happen to be my favorite animals out here on the reserve. They're right in front of us, but they'll be on our right-hand side here in just a second. Bright orange with white stripes. Ooh, and there's some on the left-hand side too. These are called bongos. Now, the reason why I like them so much is because we've got a few things in common, me and the bongos. We're both really pretty. We have great names and even better nicknames. My nickname is Sam, and their nickname is the Ghosts of the Forest due to their shy and reclusive natures. So it's actually pretty neat to see them that close to the truck. Now, both the male and the female bongos do have horns, though the males are just slightly bigger. And you may have noticed that their horns are slanted backwards. That is to help them move through the brush in here just a little bit easier too. We had some good luck around that watering hole back there, so let's try another one. Right around the corner here, there's the Safi River. Usually around here, we see a couple of bird species, maybe some Nile crocodiles, and possibly some hippopotamus too. Definitely some hippopotamus, because I can see them right at the bottom of the hill here on our right-hand side. One's just got his head poking out of the water there. Looks like he's still asleep. It's all about timing with these guys, though. They can actually hold their breath for about 8 minutes, and rather than swim, they do prefer to walk along the bottom of the riverbed. Now, just do me a favor, guys, if you have little kids, you can seated on your laps or in their own seats. I'm going to pull forward a bit more because there are some more hippos on our left-hand side here, too. One has a piece of lettuce on his back. You okay, buddy? A little tired still? Now, those hippos will spend most of their day in the water. Usually nighttime is when they come out to graze along the grasslands, but they only eat about 80 to 90 pounds of food a day. Yeah, I did say only 80 to 90 pounds, because the males can weigh up to 5,500 pounds when they're fully grown, so they do get pretty large. Now, you may have seen those white birds back there on the island too in front of the hippos. Those were pink-backed pelicans. During mating season, it does appear as if the feathers on their backs turn pink, but it's not their feathers, it's actually the skin underneath that does so. Ooh, keep your eyes down to the left-hand side. Looks like there are some Nile crocodiles down there. Now, if you see any with their mouths open, they are trying to cool themselves off, but I'd be very careful. Their jaws can snap shut with about 2,000 pounds per square inch of pressure, and that's hard enough to crush bone. So let's go ahead and get out of here. Now, even though the crocodiles have that bone-crushing power, they really only use it about once a week. That's as often as they need to eat. But Yeah, you can see some giraffes up close. There's a few more off in the distance too. They're usually pretty easy to spot from far away. The males can be 20 feet tall when they're fully grown, so that does make them the world's tallest land mammal. Even though they're so big though, they only have about 7 vertebrae in their necks, which is the same amount we have as humans. Now watch that one. She's reaching up with that neck and her tongue. Do you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just a few more as we go along here. Now the giraffe's tongues are prehensile. That means that they can use them as essentially an extension of their face to grab any leaves or branches that are just out of reach. And they have pretty long tongues. They're about 18 to 20 inches usually. And they're that dark purple color to help keep them from getting sunburned, of all things. Like I said, we'll see a few more as we go along here. So let's see if we can catch up with them on the other side. If you look out to our left-hand side, though, y'all are a bit taller up than I am. I'm going to pull forward past this rock, though. There are some African wild dogs out here, also known as painted dogs, too. They're right around this rock, and here they come. Please stay seated, though, for me, guys. If you have any little kids, we sit on your laps. Thank you. Now, they are pretty cute and cuddly looking, but I do not suggest trying to take one home as a pet. They are one of the most successful hunters out here in Africa. They've got about an 80 to 90% success rate on their hunts. It's not because they're particularly fast or strong or anything. They're just super persistent. They'll pretty much follow their prey around until it just kind of gives up. Now, also out to our left, you've got those dark antelope out there on the hill. Those are sable antelope. They may look familiar to you. They are the emblems of our reserve. Now, if you see a really, really dark one, that would be the dominant male of that particular herd. The darker they are, the more dominant and mature they tend to be. But even though it's the males that are dominant, it's going to be the females that control the movements of the herd.
Surprise.
We've got a good look at these giraffes on our right-hand side. So far, all the ones I'm seeing are Maasai giraffes. You can tell the difference between species by looking at their coat patterns. The Maasai do tend to have a little bit more of a messier or erratic coat pattern than most other giraffe species do. And some of them are looking a little small, so I'd say judging from their size, they're probably just under a year old. So they're probably big giraffes. When they're first born though, they're already 150 pounds and 6 feet tall, which is a good thing. They've got about a 6-foot drop to the ground. Giraffes do spend most of their time standing up. That includes giving birth as well as sleeping too, and they only sleep for about 30 minutes a night. Also out here to our right-hand side, there are some gray animals. These are white bearded wildebeest. Looks like it's a bit of a smaller herd though. They do have one of the largest animal migrations in the world. About 1.5 million of them will migrate their way across the savannah each and every year. Now they are named after an Afrikaans word that literally means wild beast, because up close they do look a little scary. And also to our right, there's some tiny, tiny tan antelopes spread out along the hillside. Those are called springbok. And one more giraffe out there too. Now don't let the springboks in the world. The males can be about 6 feet tall when they're fully grown, so they're usually pretty discernible because of their size, but they also have a slight spiral pattern to their horns that are tilted backwards as well. You may see them again as we come around the bush here to our right hand side. You want to look for one that's particularly large. That would be the male of that herd. Like though, we may be entering into elephant territory. There's 2 surefire ways I know that. 1, this tree that's been pushed over on our right hand side, and 2, there's actually an elephant right over here on our right. We saw him as we came around the corner there. He's a great view right now. Good morning, sir. Jumbo. As we pull forward here, we'll probably get another look at him. But it is really cool to see them that close. On our left-hand side, there's going to be a couple of mandrills. They're the world's largest species of monkey. You want to look for one that's particularly large with bright markings. That's going to be the dominant male of that particular troop. Let's see if we can see an elephant one more time as we go. Now he does seem to be the only elephant around here, so I think it's pretty safe to say that he's most likely a male or bull African elephant because he's all by himself. They do have very human-like lifespans, but elephants are mostly matriarchal. So at about 14 years old, the males will leave the herd and they tend to go off on their own, though they do sometimes form bachelor herds. And normally, if there's a male around, there may be some females around here too. So let's go just a bit further into elephant territory, see if we can catch up with some lady elephants out here. And you may have noticed too that he was flapping his ears. That is to help cool themselves off. Elephants have blood vessels located right at the base of their ears. So if they flap their ears, it's going to cool off those blood vessels and in turn cool off the rest of their bodies too. I think we're on the right track. We're going to go through these red clay pits. Yes, look down on the clay on either side. There are some tusk marks and some elephant tracks down there too. And I think I know why. Look out to our left-hand side here. We've caught up with the herd of elephants. There's a few more in the distance too. But they do often eat the red clay for the minerals and nutrients found in the soil. Now we're going to come around here, and I just barely saw her because she's hiding between the adults. You guys are a bit taller up than I am though, so you may have a better view, but over this ridge there's those two adult elephants. Right between them, oh, I think she might be just out of view, but there was a baby elephant down there. You might just see her as we come around. Just do me a favor, guys, please stay seated for me. Thank you. So we come around here, keep your eyes over your left-hand shoulder, because I'm going to get past these bushes for you, so we may see her again. Judging by her size, though, she's probably just under a year old, so about the same age as those baby giraffes. The difference, though, is that when she's first born, she's already 300 pounds, so she's about double that right now. Let's see here. Look over your left-hand shoulder. You may see her one more time. There she is. There's a few more adult elephants out to our left-hand side, too. Now, one thing that's really interesting that we've actually learned about elephants is that out of all the animals they could have chosen to be scared of, they picked bumblebees. True story. And it's a good thing that we know this, because there were some farmers out here in Africa that were starting to put their crops into elephant territory. So the elephants were trampling over them, and the farmers started using some pretty harmful methods to keep the elephants at bay. So we did a little bit of research. We wanted to find a more peaceful solution. One more elephant to our left-hand side here. And we discovered that elephants would actually avoid patches of trees that had beehives in them. We're pretty sure they don't like the buzzing noise that the bees make. So we built fences around the farmer's land and put beehives spread out along those fences, and it actually worked. Not only did the elephants stay away, but the farmers also got a new crop to harvest, the bee's honey. Now also to our left hand, some mud pits out here to our left-hand side. That's normally a good sign that there may be some more rhinos in the area. They do often cover themselves in mud and dirt to protect their skin from the sun. Do you guys see him up here on our left? He's going to be on our right when we come around. Oh, I lied. He may be on our left-hand side. Yeah, he's going to come down the hill here.
Oh, come on.
Now this is a white rhino. You can tell the difference between species by looking at their mouths. The white rhinos have a bit more of a wider mouth, but the black rhinos live in the forest, so they have very triangularly shaped mouths. Oh, he's going around that bush there. Next time I pull forward a bit more, you'll see on our left-hand side there. Here he comes. Now that is an animal I do try to sneak up on. The white rhinos are usually pretty docile, but they are easy to startle. They can't see very well, only clearly just a few feet in front of their faces. Everything else is a very big blur to them. But it looks like we are headed into...
Greetings, everyone. Welcome. We have been expecting you. We are here today to welcome you, one and all, to the festival of the Lion King. Welcome to our world. Oh, to the flower in this land. Band singers who travel with Simba and his friends throughout the land in this tribal celebration. Time for introductions. My name is Kiume. I'm the leader of this group. Kiume is Swahili for masculine and strong. What do you think? And next we have Makawa, which is Swahili for good looking.
Hey, a good looking.
And this is Kabibi,
Which means impatient.
It means princess.
And finally we have Zawadi.
Which is Swahili for the gift.
The gift.
Yes, the gift. And if you want to stay good looking, you best back off the attitude, mister. Besides, this young man right here thinks I'm the gift. What's your name, sweetheart? Anthony. I think that's Swahili for it's my lucky day.
Everyone, Simba and the gang will be arriving here any minute. And want to make them feel welcome when they get here, so we're going to need your help.
And since this is the animal kingdom, and we are surrounded by animals, and Simba and the gang are animals, we should greet them like
Animals. So to start, obviously, pep rally, each of us will lead one of the 4 animal sections. Now, let's see here. I'll take the elephants.
I'll take giraffe.
I'll take the lions.
I'll take the warthogs! All right, warthogs, let's get Anthony to tame these warthogs. Anthony, come on up here and help me, my friend. All righty, gang, listen up. Anthony's gonna be our superstar warthog leader. Stand right next to me, dear. I want you to demonstrate the sound that we as fellow warthogs will make. I'll show you what to do. Put your fingers to the sides of your nose like tusks and snort like a warthog. Yes! Beautiful, Anthony. Do you need a tissue, honey? You're okay. Well, you stand right here, but turn around so everybody can see that handsome face. All right, warthogs! Put your fingers up to your tusks. On the count of 3, let's hear what you can do. 1, 2, 3. Yes, that's the most disgusting sound I ever heard, and I love it.
All right, it's the lion's turn. I'm here with my new friends Anya and Annie, and they are going to give us their best lion imitations. All right, my friends, paws are just like lions. There you go. Now, I want to hear your best lion roar. You first. Good job, my friends. Good job. All right, stay with me. We're going to turn around now and get everybody to put their paws up just like Anya and Annie. And on the count of 3, let's hear that roar. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Now that's a lion.
I'm Polly Elephant, I'm Hunter here all the way from West Virginia. All right, get that arm up, let's see that trunk. Now, let's hear the call. Yes. Now that's an elephant we will never forget indeed. Turn around, Hunter, one more time. Everyone, arms up. On the count of 3, let's trumpet triumphant. 1, 2, 3. The mighty pack of dirt.
Okay, my turn. I am next. This is Satya all the way from Florida, and she's going to show us what sound a giraffe makes. Okay, go. I'll take it. That was perfect, Satya. Now I still need your help. Can you turn around, get your giraffe neck all the way up in the air, just like that. Giraffe neck all the way up in the air, and bleat everyone. And there you have giraffe.
Very well, then now that you know your animal sounds, I think we're all set. Watch us. We'll make sure you're cute and ready to go.
Hey, everyone. I think I hear them coming.
Wonderful, right on time. On the count of 3, let's use those sounds to call them in. All together. 1, 2, 3. Listen.
very special day to visit. You see, today we've come to town for a big celebration, and you, my friends, are invited to join in the fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, get ready to clap your paws, stomp your hooves, and rumble your feathers as we welcome you to the Festival of the Lion King. Let the procession begin!
How you doing? Don't worry, you're all funny emotions here. The show can begin. And what are you doing? Slow down, slow down! I'm supposed to be center stage! Who's driving this thing?
All right, giraffes, we're up first. On the count of 3, let's hear some noises. 1, 2, 3.
Why? I've been the sheep's again.
Oh, I just can't wait to see.
Hey, Taco Monkeys! Walk me over by the warthog section!
All right, warthogs, it's your turn. On the count of 3, let's hear some snoring. 1, 2, 3. Suicide, 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 suicide.
Back to the girl. Dixie, da-ba-doo-dow.
Oh, I just can't wait.
It's your chance on the community of some patented power. 1, 2, 3.
Hi, everybody. Hey, come on.
Go right on.